Tracy, we've touched on this already, but I want to go back to it because it's I think it's really interesting. You've worked, I know, with me and probably with other people and other organisations. You have worked to house homeless applicants before, and some really quite vulnerable people. I know some of the service users that I've referred over to you have been street sleepers, long-term rough sleepers, veterans in quite poor mental and physical health conditions, and they have been thrilled to move into properties and thrive and have that opportunity. And that must be, for you as a letting and management agent, that must be that's going over and above, really. You taking on quite a lot of work there. That's not that's not a tenant that you're going to give the paperwork to and never see them again for 3 years and just receive the rent.
I don't know of any other agent in Manchester that does it,
no,
to be honest, and anybody we speak to wouldn't do that, not in a million years. But that side of it can be very rewarding.
And again, I suppose if you are using adequate referencing procedures, and a rough sleeping homeless person is probably not going to pass a credit check.
We don't do any references for
but
them.
there's ways you can have a look and speak to organisations who are perhaps working with a tenant. You can, as we've talked about in a previous question, you can look through potential documentation that they might have and try and explore their history. So you're not going to reference them in the same way as you would do a traditional applicant.
Absolutely,
but you can still do something to get a bit of a picture about the person, and again, gut feeling will tell you, do I think this is going to work out?
We again have an extensive list of questions, but they revolve around mental health, drinks, drugs, support. Have you been in prison? Social workers, care workers, so we've got a full background, and they're always usually very honest, like probably some too honest. Like, oh, really?
Pretend not to have heard that one.
And again, we've got to look at their situation. Can we help them by firstly providing them with a home, but then not supporting them all the time. But should they need anything, are we going to be able to communicate with them and support them if they have an issue?
Because the last thing anyone wants to do is set somebody up to fail.
Absolutely.
That's the problem I've had in the past when I've procured housing for people and perhaps they've not been ready or the support's not been in place. But I think in allowing what you're doing at Abode, and just having this kind of small subsection of your business which is reserved for this type of tenant group is amazing. And as you say, I don't know of any other agents in the local area that provide that type of service, and that's really something I think that should be shouted about. So I'm going to do loads of promotion of that when I get back.
Well, there is also a sort of profitability side for landlords. It's it's a business decision that we made.
Absolutely.
Because the setup that we've got is that these people can be sharing, and landlords are financially benefiting from that.
Social property investment. Exactly.
They're taking a massive risk, but they are benefiting. They're almost doubling rents in some cases.
Absolutely, and that's the way that I've worked with social property investment, to persuade investors and landlords to take more vulnerable tenants or tenants who are in receipt of welfare. It's about giving them something of value on each side and making sure that we look to maximise the profit and the cost effectiveness, and then to mitigate and minimise the risk. So they think, well, I'm going to make loads of money, and it's actually going to have all these the worries that I had have been thought about, and there's a way around them. Great,
Well, all the worries they have is that we're completely transparent. Like, this is what you're getting and this is what could happen. On the other plus side, this is what you'll be achieving on your rental income. The decision's yours. It's down to them.
Wonderful.
And we've had some real good success stories.
I think I'm going to have to come back and revisit you with those, Tracy, because I'd quite like to put some articles out about how those processes works in the long term, and how maybe landlords can replicate those types of projects, because there's obviously a huge need.
There is a massive need, and it does work. It doesn't work all the time, but it does work. And I'd be happy to discuss that further.
Fantastic. Well, I'll make sure I refer any of my landlords that come through to me now, because I'm not managing anymore, so that works very well.